Tell us more.
Don't Google that.
Two pincers.
It's just a smaller you.
Well, we stand here in a row, looking like a bunch of heroes. I know that deep inside, nothing more but a bunch of zeros. Ah!
Welcome to Bards Nobles, Season 2, Episode 5, where a bunch of guys sit around drinking Zima and playing Dungeons & Dragons. I'm Brian, the Dungeon Master.
They're bringing that back.
Who else is...
Is that 2 truths, 1 lie?
He's joined by Aaron Williams, who plays Baron von Beauregard the Sixth, the Human Ranger.
And Blake Harrison, who plays Kibe Takashigani. He is a fighter, a samurai crabman.
And Charles Nelson, who plays Max Stormblade, the human paladin.
I'll never not laugh at your name.
Charles.
I'm Anthony Boyd, and I'll be playing Grits Grundell, the half-drow rogue.
I'm Trey O'Neill. I'm playing Flint McShrimpton, the druid dwarf.
And I'm Andrew Danon, playing a Warforged artificer gunsmith named Elon Musket.
Today's show is brought to you by lootcrate.com. That's right. It is the nerd box that comes to you once a month with some awesome little gadgets and gizmos. It's helped decorate my office so everyone knows I'm a nerd at work. And if you want to sign up...
You're a nerd everywhere.
That's true.
But at work, they know.
Oh, okay.
There's no question that every time someone's like, oh, maybe that guy, he does wear sports shirts every now and then.
It's a ruse.
But if you sign up now, you get 10% off by using our promo code BRIDGE10. And to get that, you would go to trylootcrate.com/bards.
Yeah.
Also brought to you by Warby Parker. Are you one of those people, one of those glasses wearing people? Well, then warbyparkertrial.com/bards is where you need to go. You can get 5 pairs of glasses for a trial, obviously. 5 pairs for 5 days, and those glasses start at $95.
Cool. So let's go ahead and recap last episode before we start.
It's going to be me again. Last time, we saw this commotion going on in the city as we were trying to return back to the king. Through this commotion, there was a bit of like a scuffle off to the side where we encountered this dirty hippie named Ralph, who was a druid, and he proceeded to be weird as all get out. But he seemed to have, tag along with the party after we saved him. And then after that, there's these huge explosions, what looked like monsters attacking. We rushed off towards the monsters to try to see if we could help. We ended up getting in a fight with a giant demon-looking gorilla and some fire-breathing jackals. And our crew decided to jump in and start handling these monsters. Ralph decided to sit and watch, even after we just saved his butt. So an epic battle ensued. We slew the beast, and the whole town started recognizing us and treating us as heroes for a little bit. And then we got rushed into a celebration party at the nearby tavern.
And that's where we're going to pick up. After all the commotion, after the fighting, the crowd that just witnessed all of you guys heroically saving everyone, taking you in, drinks are being passed around. At this point, the scene's getting pretty crazy. Everyone's singing, dancing, drinking. What, if anything in specific, what are you guys doing?
I'm drinking heavily.
Okay. All right. Baron's getting wasted.
Yes.
I would just like to pull out my lute and just start jamming. If there's any, I know there's some other musicians performing on the street earlier. If there's any in this town, I just want to be jamming with them.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a group of people playing just a mixture of instruments. You just jump on stage with them.
Yeah.
Give me a performance check.
Dang it. You're just gonna let it happen.
Not today.
Nope.
It's not bad. Not bad.
Roll that one dice that gets you all the ones.
If he gets a nat 20, he gets to bang all the girls, including the crab girls.
Performance, you say?
Is
That would be a
they're
19.
crab people or they have crab people?
No, they just have crabs. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right. You jump in, and the lead loot player kind of backs off and lets you take center stage as you begin playing whatever you want to play. What are you playing?
Smoke on the water.
Oh
Probably.
yeah.
The Reigns of Castamere.
Everyone just gets like
Everyone just starts crying.
So yeah, you're playing it, you're rocking it out, everyone's loving it. There's definitely a lot of ladies checking you out. Obviously into the music. A couple dudes also into the music too, kind of giving you the eyes. Everyone else, what's everyone else
Can I
doing?
find one of each?
There's not a dry dude in the house.
I'd like to go outside and check on my pet lion.
Okay. Down the street at the corral, or where essentially everyone keeps all the larger animals. You make your way through the throngs of partying people. Obviously, the celebrations have resumed pretty quickly. Actually, people don't seem to be deterred by what just happened. You can tell this celebration is a lot more important to people than you would have believed. Looks like your lion's doing all right. It's just chilling with all the other mounts of various sizes and shapes.
And this corral is where like everyone in the area keeps their mounts and stuff.
Yeah,
There's not
it's like
a closer one to the tavern.
No, not to the tavern itself. It's pretty much towards the end of the street, just to it's almost like the multi-level garage of like a party district in a major city. But it's just
There's
off
no
to the
street
side.
parking?
No.
So the lion's over there just like eating hay and everything. And
No, he's not.
He's not eating hay.
He's eating on another mount.
Probably your mount.
The goat.
Barnaby, no.
Can I I guess purchase like a bunch of raw meat to
yeah.
bring to him?
Yeah, you pay the necessary costs to make sure he's fed.
And what would that cost be?
6 million gold.
Goes back and his goat's just to shreds.
18 gold.
To shreds, you say.
18 gold for
Yeah.
1 mil?
I
No,
feel
to
like-
keep him fed while you have him there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
so
a board.
so I'm paying for like a service.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like you're setting a precedent here that's going to screw us all out of 18 gold.
That's why I picked
I mean,
a
only if you want your
herbivore
mouth
for my mount.
Well, it's like 10 gold a day, but then if you want to, you just pay, the fee for a 72-hour thing, and it's 18, I guess. I don't know.
But if you want the happy ending, it's a little extra.
My rhino definitely wants the happy ending.
I'm just
quite
like
ornate.
my beast
Yeah.
to eat another beast. that is there.
Can my beast
No,
at
they
least...
have a number of animal handlers in the area that make sure
I'd like my beast to eat one of the animal handlers. Then.
you're in the middle getting ogled by guys and girls alike in the tavern.
I dig it.
Odalade.
Oh yeah,
Odele.
they're checking you out.
Nice.
So
For the first
I took
time, my
notice.
giant crab penis emerges from its chitinous body armor.
I still don't know enough about crabs to even picture what that looks like.
Tell us more.
Don't Google
Got
that.
two pincers.
It's just a smaller you.
Exactly like me, except small and full of
Please,
blood.
that's canon.
All right.
but not too small, of
Not
course.
too small.
All right, so Keybase's flexing whatever his crab junk looks like. Shrimp and Elon, what are you guys doing?
I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace on myself,
All right.
and I'm going to leave the bar.
Okay.
And I'm going to go to the nearest red right hand contact that I have in the city.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Uh-oh.
And this one's actually going to be pretty high because the capital of Sedlio is actually, for the most part, is on the up and up, and some of the more shadowy organizations don't really have quite a hold in there yet.
I rolled a 5, so.
Gotcha.
He wanders his way back into the bar.
Yeah, I mean, after searching around for a while, you've gone up and down Cargo Street. All the establishments seem to be on the up and up, and it's kind of hard to. You just aren't able to between all the party goers and all the people celebrating and all the drunks. It's making it really difficult to find
All right.
anything.
I go check on Madison V. Monroe, my mount.
Okay. You show up, and Max is also there, just kind of looking around at the mounts. You see your elk somehow getting along with all the other animals and large meat eaters.
He's very friendly.
But yeah, you're at the corral, as it were.
All right, just want to make sure he's good.
Yeah, your mount's
all right.
doing pretty good.
Yeah. All right, and I'm going to go back to the tavern. And I'm going to go to sleep.
Okay. Elon, what are you doing?
We're about to take kind of like a rest, right?
You tell me.
Okay, I guess we are. I don't know. I'll sit and listen to Mr. Grits play his lute for a little while.
Okay.
And then I will have a drink, and I'll just pour it down in my mouth, and then I'll just be like, well, that was a waste of gold, and go to sleep.
You can burn the alcohol.
Meditate.
Right.
Are there
Since I
women
don't
of the hour?
sleep,
Women of the evening?
technically.
Women of the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Plenty of them.
He's from Walker County. It's a cold and lonely place.
Not only are there working women, this is Party Central. There's also just women everywhere.
Gotcha.
An hour seems like a high estimate for it.
Baron would like to attempt a free transaction, and if that fails, go for the paid one.
Can I help wingman my boy, or am I still playing?
Free transaction of what? What do you do? Well, what is Baron trying to do here?
He's trying to get laid.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Seeing the Baron struggle, can Grits help wingman him?
Well, we don't know if he's struggling. Go ahead and just give me a.
He keeps trying to make a transaction.
If there's any girls
Is that
there,
your
I
opening
wanna
line?
do that.
I would like to make a transaction.
I'm trying to
Specifically a deposit.
Oh my gosh.
Withdraw deposit.
Just give me a persuasion check.
All right.
Damn, girl, I need additional funds.
Wait, let's see. Well, before you tell me what that total is, what's the total? Go ahead.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
18.
18. All right. After approaching a number of women, you get shut down by one of them. But the second girl you go up to, she's a
300-pound orc.
She's a halfling.
I go to the next girl.
But I mean, she's pretty good looking halfling. She's like 7 out of 10.
All right.
She seems really fun.
She's already at that height.
It's like a 3.5.
You guys are hitting it off, and she's definitely feeling you.
All right.
I want to be playing my lute like Ron Burgundy plays his jazz flute.
Okay.
Wherever
Like just jamming all over the
Gotcha.
wherever my drunkenness and carousing leads me is where I go.
Okay. So
I'm gonna wake up without a kidney.
all right.
Possibly.
So back in the Brass Goblin, Grits, you're on stage still rocking out. Shrimp, you're back there. Elon, you've already gone back to your room?
Yeah, I've just gone up to my room and.
Max, are you back at the
Brass
Brass Goblin?
So after I check on my mount,
Uh-huh.
I know that I'm about to rest for the evening.
Okay.
So before I do that, I just go around and tend to the wounded and just use the remainder of my lay on hands and my spell slots to try to heal any people that were injured.
Okay.
I feel terrible now.
I should have done that. That would have been really nice.
You help those kittens.
Sure. In doing so, there's one or two of the people, obviously everyone's very grateful and thanking you for doing that. One or two of the people that you're helping and healing, they just start, asking you about the symbol that you hold and the symbol that's on your cloak and stuff.
Okay, I just explain that it's the symbol of Bahamut, and I tell about the town I'm from and how I grew up in the worshiping Bahamut and the Bahamut temple, stuff like that.
Do you know Bahamut as your Lord and Savior?
Do you have time to talk about your Lord and Savior?
So as the night goes on, if you've gone back to the Brass Goblin at this point,
Yeah,
you go to rest, I guess.
yeah.
The music's starting to die. You guys are slowing down just a little bit, and you see Baron hand in hand with an attractive female halfling walking up the stairs, and you see Keybait shortly tailing behind them.
I just yell out, "Get it!"
I turn back to him and point and wink.
I give him my last bardic inspiration.
I accept it.
I use an action surge to kill the halfling.
No! Say you do it.
No.
All done.
Very funny.
All right.
I don't have an action surge, so I can't.
The morning comes after all the carousing and partying. The sounds of the city have died down. Kibe and Baron, you guys wake up in the same room. Kibe on the floor.
Okay.
Baron is on the bed.
Yes.
Barrett on Cuba.
On the bed is also a halfling female, unmoving.
Just so we're all aware, I was very drunk as well.
Oh,
I wasn't just looking for halfling action.
gotcha.
I was just
But you did follow. You did follow back.
I saw everything.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Max and Elon, you guys have bunked together in another room.
All right.
Shrimp and Grits, you guys in another. But everyone just wakes up to a pretty, not quiet, but it's a pretty normal morning. The sounds of the city, of the bustling morning activities, people setting up shop, people cleaning. There's a lot of cleaning going on in the streets happening. You just wake up in your rooms. What are you guys doing?
I kind of sit up and gasp, and I say, "Where's that damn druid?"
I probably have a pretty harsh hangover, and I just like tell him, "It's just like not now, Kibe, another day."
I wake up feeling pretty great. Like I haven't got to cut loose and have actual fun in a long time. So I head downstairs and like start ordering breakfast and wait for everybody.
I'm going to order breakfast as well.
As you guys head downstairs, in the main drinking room area, it's already been cleaned up, and you see with his bald head, his robes, and the bandana and chain around his eyes, you see High Inquisitor Vices just standing in the middle of the room, and a bevy of, I'll say like about six guards with him. And as soon as you begin walking down the stairs, he quote unquote makes eye contact. He looks in your direction, but you can definitely feel the weight of his gaze just on both of you.
Pretend like you don't see him. Keep walking. This can't be good.
I just head out. I just keep walking towards him.
Okay.
I would like to go order breakfast.
Okay. As his look is stayed focused on Shrimp as he walks away, even though you walk up to him. He kind of looks, he turns towards your direction, Grits, and he says, "Where's the rest of your party?"
I'll be real honest. I lost most of them in the evening. Shrimp's the only one I really keep up with.
And he says, "Well, you lot who are responsible for last night and yesterday's events are to come with me at once per the order of the king."
Responsible? Did you just
Yes.
say that we're responsible for the monsters that we slayed?
I didn't say anything about the events. I said you were responsible for what happened last night.
All right. I walk over and I go to Shrimp and I'm like, I think he's blaming us for some more stuff. I think we have to go because the king wants us to go with him.
I just ordered breakfast.
Good point. I turned to the Inquisitor. I was like right now we have to go. Can we eat, or is there like you're gonna carry us there no matter what?
Give me a charisma check.
Just straight charisma.
Yeah, just your charisma bonus.
I like to walk down.
17.
Okay. He lets out a heavy sigh, and he says, "You may finish your meals and your morning preparations, but once you're done, you're to come with me."
Cool. Would you like anything?
He just turns and walks out. He walks out, and you can tell he just stops shortly outside of the building. And his guards, for the most part, they all stay inside.
Don't recognize any of them? Were any of them involved in the fight?
Oh, that were at the palace the day before? No.
No.
And they're also dressed differently. These guys, they don't have the ceremonial armor and pikes. These have more bronze-looking armor with white tabards, and a lot of them have shields and flails or maces.
Okay. I look at him and was like, you guys want anything?
By this time, I've wandered downstairs looking for.
None of them respond to you. In fact, like all six of them, they have a mask of some kind or cover over their face. Almost like a part of their armor or helmets.
Oh, okay. Well, I sit down, I order breakfast, and I pay for mine, and I tell the bartender, whoever's keeping us, I'm going to pay for our whole party when they show up.
Okay.
I would like to ask if they have prawns and polenta. For breakfast?
They
How dare you?
They have what?
Prawns and polenta.
roll a d20 for me.
17.
Bartender says, actually, we just got a fresh shipment in. We can get that for you. It'll be a little bit. It'll take a while to prepare.
I don't have anywhere to be.
All right.
The bartender's like, I don't even remember ordering this stuff. It's just here.
All right. You made your way downstairs and you see
Yep.
shrimp and grits, as well as your companions, Grits Grindel and Flint, downstairs just eating at a table.
Okay. I just say good morning.
What up, Elon?
Anything exciting happened last night?
Not last night, but if you look right outside the door, the Inquisitor's back, and he wants us to come back and talk to the king.
Okay.
But we're gonna eat some breakfast first. You want anything, man?
I mean, it would
Do
be a
you
waste.
eat?
I can, but it's a waste of gold. Don't worry about it.
So you don't eat, breathe.
Drink. I technically don't even sleep.
That's kind of cool, but also kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Do you dream? Do you dream of like electric sheep?
Jesus.
I do.
Wait,
Fractal patterns are awesome.
what's electric?
It's me.
Wookie.
And it's my boogaloo. Anyway. So I'll look outside. Do I see Chain Eyes?
Yeah.
I just kind of laugh at him just because. I can.
Okay. After conversing with me, the robot looks over to the door and just begins laughing.
That guy.
All right, Max, you've woken up at this point.
All right.
You going downstairs? You making your way?
Yeah, get dressed, of course, and gather all my gear and stuff, and I head downstairs.
Okay.
He stows his strong blade.
You do anything special?
I just join the others at breakfast.
Okay.
We all eat together.
I'll make sure that I pay for everyone's meal.
Gotcha. Well,
Thanks, dude.
So far,
Got you,
shrimp
Sam.
and polenta is on the
Prawns and polenta, yeah.
prawns and polenta. Gotcha is on the bill. So we'll be all right. Baron and Kibe, you guys have woken up. You guys are starting to get ready, cleaned up. At this point, it's been about 30, 40 minutes since you guys have both established that it's morning time.
Mm-hmm.
The halfling has remained still the entire time.
Is she breathing?
I give her a very light pinch.
I was just gonna leave her.
Baron, give me a medicine check.
Okay.
We killed her?
You asked the question.
Stripper.
He killed a hooker.
She may have been a wholesome young lady. You don't know. Maybe.
9.
If she went to bed with this guy being followed by a giant crab man, she wasn't wholesome.
She is breathing. Barely.
Barely?
Yeah, barely.
Wow.
She's had a rough night. She's puke stained everywhere on her side of the bed.
Oh.
What was a 7 out of 10 looks more like a 4 out of 10 at this point.
Nice.
Rounded up from the 3.5.
Gross.
All right. Well, I'll tell Kibe she'll be all right. And then put on my non-fancy, non-poofy pants and gather my stuff, and I head downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go downstairs as well.
Gotcha.
And
But
go ahead.
upon going downstairs, I'm gonna bring her up some food.
Oh, you stole my...
No, you don't get to.
God dang.
You killed a hooker.
Wait. I want to... Let this be a joint venture because I was going to give her food
Roll for
and
it.
tell the bartender.
Roll off.
You lost it, man. He got to it first.
What? I said I go downstairs and
Did
before
you
I
call
could-
dibs?
Anyways,
Then it doesn't matter. He's got it.
And as you guys are arguing over who's bringing food up, you guys see both Kibe and Baron at the bar beginning to argue about something.
I immediately minor illusion his pants poofy.
All right. You notice your pants begin to
Do your
flare
pants
out.
I
resist?
try to flatten them.
But as this is going on, towards the stairs, you see the halfling begin to make her way downstairs. She's in the middle of putting her adjusting her blouse and fixing
Okay.
her clothes. Everybody sees this, and she walks up to both of you,
Yep.
and she's like, she's very, very coy, and she thanks you, Mr. Beauregard, and she thanks you, Mr. Taka
Shigami.
She's like, yeah, that. And then she says,
Key-base, sweetheart. Here's some eggs.
She says, if
you already gave me some last night.
All right.
I make it myself.
You guys are all watching. You guys are all watching this interaction, and she says to you guys, if you're not doing anything after she gets off school later, she'd love to hang out. And then she walks out.
I immediately drop my religion, and I'm just like, I start clapping sarcastically as possible and tell them that food is ready.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, so after breakfast wraps up,
They all look so young. Halflings.
At this point, all the guards are they're killing time. They're either getting bored or they're kind of like getting tired of you guys waiting, and they're getting antsy and kind of trying to urge you along.
I would like to order a round of bread pudding for the group.
As you go to do that, the bartender kind of looks up at over to the guards, and the bigger one, he's got a bigger hat than the rest. He's got a little more ornaments on him. He kind of shakes his head, and the bartender just looks at you guys, and he's like,
I mean, he's not ordering it. I'm ordering it.
And he's like,
we can order some for them.
Mr. Dwarf, I can't right now.
All right.
I would like to ask the bartender if he saw a small, skinny elf druid last night or this morning.
It's like, oh yeah, the gentleman that you all came in with.
What happened?
Whoa! He wasn't with us.
All right. It looked like he was with you guys yesterday.
What happened with him?
I don't know. I guess he kind of got lost in the party. It was a crazy night.
I don't trust that guy. Don't trust him.
Well, he's not here, and we should never trust him. Keep that in mind for if we ever see him again. We should immediately murder him. All right, you guys ready to go? I know.
I kind of want to. Can I pull everybody to the side, away from the guards?
Yeah, sure. They're all staying towards the door, anyways.
Okay. I just want to. Yeah, we're gonna huddle up. Huddle, guys. I'm gonna say there's some of you here that I don't fully trust.
I nod my head understandingly.
But we're in this together. We've gotten to this point, and I wanted to share with the group just that what I saw when I looked in the reflection of the dagger, because I don't think any of them were privy to this information.
Okay.
And just tell them that I saw a dark green mass of trees. All the trees looked dead. It was kind of like a bog. And that's all I saw.
Dagobah?
It was like Dagobah.
Sweet.
Well, in the interest of being open and honest as much as I can with you guys, me and Shrimp, when we were pursuing on the rooftops, we ran into that spy again that Ralph pointed out when we were in the middle of the street. And she proceeded to say something. What did she say?
Something about
I hate my life.
She said, trust in ourselves, trust in the void, and then she just disappeared, ghosted off the top of the roof.
She said avoid the Noid.
Damn the Noid.
She mentioned the void.
Yeah, she said, this was all meant to happen. It's all as it should be. Trust in ourselves, trust in the void. And then she just leapt backwards off the roof, and when we went to look out, she was just gone.
And she said, trust in his return. And that's the last thing. Everything else you got, actually.
Trust in his return.
Yeah.
Whose return?
I assume the Noid.
I don't know whose return, but it probably has something to do with the void and maybe why they're starting to have an upheaval.
Trying to assassinate the king and stuff.
We must do what we can to learn of this Council of the Void.
Indubitably, old man. Tarry on. Ha ha ha. And I turn around and start walking towards High Inquisitor.
I tarry on as well.
All right, as you guys tarry on out the door, without turning to look at you, the Inquisitor, he says, the entirety of Sedlio saw what you guys did here last night, saw your heroics. And he says that with a bit of sarcasm.
Why are you mad, bro?
He says, if I were you, I would maintain a level head and do nothing that would tarnish that image. And then he begins walking, and his guards begin walking as well.
I mumbled.
Are we walking, or do we need to grab our mounts?
You're just walking in the city. It's actually not that far away.
Can we assume that while we're in the city, our mounts are just kind of chilling in the stables?
Yeah, for the most part.
I whistle for Nibbles.
Except for
who?
Nibbles.
Nibbles.
Oh, there's a P instead of a B in there.
I whistle for nipples.
My nipples come.
17 nipples
Yeah.
address you. No.
What kind of power
17
is that?
titties.
17
The halfling runs out.
No, she's already got on the bus and headed out. There's no bus.
This is getting worse for us, Baron.
Good night, everybody.
The short bus came and got her already.
Wait,
Because she's short.
halfling.
Yeah.
You bastards.
Jeez, come on, guys.
Y'all some mean assholes.
Anyways, all right. So as you guys are marching through the streets and you're approaching the Citadel of Loom, the massive gates up ahead of you, townsfolk and people are beginning to gather and watch. And even as you guys first stepped out, you saw they had already begun cleaning up and begun repairs on that part of the street. And you see more and more people are actually kind of gathering in the streets, kind of watching you guys pass by.
Can I be hamming it up to the crowd?
Oh, yeah.
And like waving, like, yeah, soaking in their admiration,
Um,
shaking hands, kissing babies.
Give me a charisma check
Shaking
again.
babies, kissing hands.
I would like to yell out, no one expects the Great Inquisition.
At disadvantage. Charisma check with disadvantage.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Damn it. That was a 19, you bastard.
You'll be fine.
Oh, I will be fine. 19.
Nice.
People are actually responding positively, and you see people smiling. Slowly, people start, and more people are gathering at the windows of their second story of buildings. There's a small crowd starting to follow you guys through the
I
street.
fluff my cape and it changes into a vibrant red.
All right.
Baron is also being pretty vain about it all.
Okay.
so,
You guys are taking it in stride.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
Soak it in.
yeah.
Are his pants still pooped?
Yes, they are.
I mean, minor illusion lasts for like a minute.
I keep casting it.
All he thinks about are your pants.
Apparently.
And how poofy they are.
Hopefully one day he'll get into them.
Soon. Soon.
As you guys approach the Citadel of Loom, the massive gates are already open, and you see hundreds more people in it than yesterday. Yesterday it was pretty much empty, and just the massive steps that lead up to the building in front. But today it's just people, and not just townsfolk. Sadly, a lot of you recognize dress and also like just the look of certain people from different cities around the kingdom. Off to the side, you see some of the bigger, more brutish, almost barbarian-looking savage folk that, Max, you recognize hail from Dragon's Maw. They've got, spikes and metal and bone on stuff on their armor, various half-orcs and tieflings and half-giants and things like that. Some of the other ones there's a group of people that are tall, and some of their heads are even elongated a little bit and just very chin up, almost snooty looking, wearing big, flowy, fanciful robes with like just crazy, fantastical designs. You recognize them as some of the archwizards from the city of Kingsford. You recognize a group of dwarves and Durgar of different shapes and sizes from the city of Smithmark. You see there's people from all over the kingdom here at this point.
Do I see any crab people?
You do not.
Any dark elves?
There's a few sprinkled here and there.
Any dark elf women? I make sure to get their attention and wink.
Okay.
Play it, gonna play.
Yeah, you see two. There's two, and you try to look over at them, and everyone at this point is looking at you guys, so you are able to make eye contact with a couple of them, a couple of the two. So. And then you actually recognize the group of people that are standing, and they just look like they have large, colorful plumed pants and hats with feathers of different sizes. They look like actually from one of the specific noble houses, the House of Zephyr from Canacapitus. And again, at the top of the steps is the king on his throne already, still sitting. To his right is Noric, the Rune Lord, or the Vindicator that you guys saw.
Make eye contact and be like, bro.
And the crowd is opened up for you guys to walk through the middle, straight towards the king, and following Visus and his group of guards, he just walks straight up. The guards all stand at the bottom of the steps as Visus begins to ascend the steps. What are you guys doing?
Follow him up the steps.
Is everyone following?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Okay, good. You walk up the steps.
Then I don't follow.
Whatever you want me to do, I do the opposite.
You're not my real dad.
You don't have enough badges to control me.
You make your way up the steps, and probably about a good 15, 20 feet in front of the king at the top of the steps, Visus goes and begins walking towards the king's left side. And Nora kind of makes eye contact with you guys, and he's just like, stay.
I stop.
And so people are cheering and you know, being loud and celebratory. And you hear Visus look over the crowd, and he clears his throat, but you can tell his voice, and you recognize the voice is just magnified. Like, just the clearing of his throat is heard over the entire citadel.
He just like mic check.
Yeah. And he begins talking, and his voice is way bigger than it has been before as it carries across the entire courtyard and almost the entire city. And it's booming right next to you. And people quiet down as soon as he begins speaking. He says, "Great people of Sedlio, the forces of darkness are ever present, ever encroaching, ever threatening our way of life. Yet a single ray of light pierces the darkness and guides us to glory." And he just starts going into this massive speech. And as he's talking, he just, you know, he's droning on and on at this point for like 10, 15 minutes now.
Can I perception check for like any danger around? Like if anyone's acting weird, like the other day when people were acting weird and then they exploded.
Sure, give me a perception check.
Or if that chick that was a spy, if I see her around.
Okay.
Nope. That is an 11.
Okay, as you begin looking around, at this point, you guys are facing the king, and the crowd is to your back. So, I mean, you're kind of looking around. You're trying to keep it, you know, be cool about it. You don't see anything out of place. You see everyone in the crowd seems to be enthralled and smiling and happy. You see, you know, doves flying overhead. But then you notice something weird about the doves, and their wings start to slow down before they stop. And then you realize that Vice is no longer talking. And you look over, and at this point, all of you hear, you know, Vice has stopped talking. You look over at him, and he seems to be just essentially frozen, just not moving.
Ah, snap.
Yeah.
Are we moving? Can we move?
Yeah, you guys can move around, and you're looking.
Can I? I just want to kind of take stock and see if anyone besides the six of us is moving.
Okay. No, everyone, as you guys start to look around and turn and notice the strangeness of it all.
Is the king moving?
It doesn't look like anyone else is moving, but you do hear a pretty low and powerful, deep, but also kind of pleasant voice. And it says, "For someone who doesn't like people, he sure loves to talk to them. Face me." And you look over to the king, and he's at this point, you didn't see when, but he's standing.
Oh, shit.
And I say, thank God. I was getting so bored.
And he looks at all of you, just plain, almost deadpan expression on his face.
I'd like to kneel.
Yeah, I'm going to kneel too.
Okay.
I would also like to kneel.
Okay, so the three of you begin to kneel.
I kind of...
As I see the others kneel, I also kneel.
Yeah, I do the same.
Okay.
I stand there.
Okay.
God damn it.
Still with an unchanged face. Everybody give me a perception check.
2.
I also rolled a 2, so 10.
I rolled a 2-0. Natural 20.
18.
15.
10.
Grits, you're the only one to notice this.
Oh, shit.
But there's a slight smirk in the corner of his mouth as everyone begins to kneel. And he's just, like, for someone who's essentially been stone-faced for what little you've seen of him so far, this is the first hint of emotion that you've seen. But he smirks just a little bit.
All right.
And he says, "It seems the people have spoken and have chosen you as their champions, but I have not. How do I know you're strong enough to defend this kingdom? My kingdom."
Give us a task.
He nods.
Baron would like to, still kneeling, still facing down, say, "Sire, we have dealt with 2 threats in your city, and you know our accomplishments, or else you would not have called upon us. Only you can make that judgment.
Okay. He says, "You're right. Your strength has been easily tested. But if I peer into your minds and souls, I would still never know what's in your hearts. Only time will tell if your loyalty to the kingdom is true."
Joke's on you. I don't have a heart.
Can I grab Elon and just sort of like grab his arm and just sort of like pull down a little bit? Like you should just get down here. Like
I look up and I just say, "King, we all came because we wanted to serve. We are simply your arrows. Point us in a direction and fire us where you want."
He says, "Good. Stand," to all of you.
I do.
That's right.
I just nod.
Yes, sir.
He holds his hand out, and 6 gold marble-sized gems. They're angular, almost diamond-shaped. They appear in his hand, and they begin to float right there. And then he just holds his hand out, and they begin floating towards each one of you. And they float a few feet in your face. And he says, "Then so it must be. I choose you as my Dawnguard knights. Do you accept?"
I snatch that bad boy. I'm like,
Yeah.
hell yes.
I do. I grab the diamond and I use my attachment ability and I place it right in the center of my chest.
Okay.
Fancy.
Yeah, I reach out and solemnly accept it,
Okay.
as no Beauregard has done before.
Okay. And everyone
I
else
just make a
goes-
slight bow and pincer the orb.
Okay.
I diddle it in the air and then I fuck it up.
All right. Like as you touch it, it wobbles slightly, but it still stays suspended in air, almost as if like there's no gravity affecting it. Just
Yeah, then I take it.
He turns it into a cat and just starts batting it around.
and as you grab
Don't
it,
tempt me.
and everyone that's grabbed it, you notice it's nice and cool to the touch, and it glows a white light just a little bit, and it begins to lose its metallic look, and it almost turns into a pure ball of light, and then just kind of fades into your skin and just fades
What if you
into
don't
you.
have skin?
Or
Exoskeleton.
yeah, your exoskeleton or your
Carapace.
yeah.
Thank you.
I also accept, and I reach out and grab it.
Wait to the end.
I want to make sure it wasn't a trick.
Smart.
Now that I see it sink into someone's skin, I'll take it.
I just look down where I tried to attach it and I just kind of like,
Yeah, at this point it has like disappeared. He looks to all of you and he just says, "So be it. You still have many tests ahead of you. Do not fail."
And then I ask, what would you have your Dawnguard do?
He says, "We shall see. We shall see." And at that point, you hear rushing back the roar of a crowd cheering, and you hear the Vice's voice booming. It says, "Our Dawnguard knights!" And you look up, and all of you, as you look up, just the shock to your system of all the noise hitting once, and then the roar of the crowd, you realize you're still kneeling. Except for you, Elon.
What if they told us to get up?
Yeah, he told us to get up.
You look over to the king, and he's still sitting there.
Oh.
And just looking, at the just based on where the sun is, you can tell easily 45 minutes, an hour has passed. And people are cheering, and then you see Nork, and he's like, Get up.
I pop up and like as soon as I pop up, minor illusion, like a light like coming off of me, like
Yeah! I like to hold my rifle in the air victoriously.
like a sand person.
With one hand.
I'm gonna jump on Grits' back and just like pump my fist.
I'll allow it.
Okay, and you look down, and you don't see where that orb was, but you kind of feel something there. You definitely feel like kind of its coolness in the center, and all of you all feel something similar, but it's located here in your head at least. And you look around.
My mind's eye.
You don't see anything. I mean, but you definitely feel something there.
Like a pimple.
Can Elon do a temperature reading on that?
As you're cheering, as you guys are addressing the crowd and everyone's cheering and stuff, it's almost weird. You've never really felt anything like this before. except for maybe you, Elon, with your connection with Nibbles.
Mhm.
But you guys can almost feel one another's presence next to each other.
That's pretty dope.
Dang it.
I don't like this. I feel like a smelly halfling and crab. I feel a lot of shame right now.
I stretch out one of my long pincer arms and just wrap up my good buddy Baron.
On the plus side, at least we're
Absolutely.
not joined to that elf.
We wouldn't have let him come here.
All right, so
Not Dawnguard material.
at this point, the celebrations continue for a little bit more, but it's not like drunken revelry. It's just it's more of an official ceremony, almost like a parade type thing.
Is there drink?
No, not at all.
All right.
But at this point, the king, his throne has already descended back into the little the dais that he was on, or that it was on, descends back into the stone, and he disappears. Vices has moved on. The crowds have begun to disperse. And Norik walks up to all of you, and he says, don't count your laurels just yet. All right, now the real work begins. There are still a number of people who believe that some, if not all of you, have something to do with the attacks yesterday.
Yeah, we stopped them.
That
I
much,
mean,
that is true.
technically,
It's true. Everybody saw that. But right now, our focus here in the city will be investigating all that we can about this supposed void, or whatever it's called.
yeah,
Oh,
we
you
did
should
have,
check out that last resort.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would like to motion to Kibe. Kibe, old fella, under this sunny gym.
I thought you were going to speak Japanese too.
that's Kibeo.
Oh, hi, Kibe. Kibe-chan.
All right.
All right. So I turn to Kibe like, Kibe, old fella, hand this sunny Jim the dagger.
I kind of I take it out of my pack and I hold it by the grip, and I just kind of like extend it out and show it to him.
As soon as you begin to pull it out, he puts his hand on you, just like, not here. And he's like, come with me.
I just kind of clamp it so no one can see it.
You like magicians cup it with.
I'm pretty. I mean, it's a dagger.
All right.
Clamps
all
are
right.
pretty big, right?
So he begins making his way. He's just like, come with me. And he makes his way down the steps in the courtyard, and he begins walking with you, I guess you guys in tow. You guys are all following him.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And you guys make your way to the war hall, which is just, as you come up on it, it's just a large, angular, 5-sided building that has steep concrete walls. It's the center of like the security and a lot of the city guard. It's like
Shaped
police
like a pentagon.
headquarters. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Didn't even think of that, huh?
You guys, the two guards that are out front, he doesn't even address them as they salute, and the doors open up and he walks in, and you see a number of soldiers, walking around off doing different things. Some people rushing hither, tither, and to and for. Everyone looks really busy in here, and he leads you to essentially just a secured room that has a barred door, and
Now
so-
falling for
Not
this one again.
And he puts us in jail.
barred as in like it's a heavy steel door that Anyways, there's a guard, opens it, he goes inside, and you guys come in, closes it, and there's two guards in there with you, and Norik there himself. He's like, okay, now we can talk.
And Norik is the guy's name?
Yes.
I've been in this situation before. Feeling a lot of deja vu.
As long as we keep Norik in here, the poison will get him too. So once again, I take the dagger out, and I just I tell him that we got trapped in a room, and we found this dagger, and I also hand him the note that went with the dagger, and just relay that all this is very connected to the void, and on top of that, we've seen some images when you look directly into the dagger. It showed us like a marsh or a bog.
What type of bog? Do you know any details?
I don't know too many.
He looks over and he snaps his fingers at one of the guards, and he comes over, and then he just kind of gives him a look, then the guy begins like he pulls out like a quill and like his little faux leather notebook and just starts writing things down and taking notes. It's like, did you see any details?
Didn't see many details. There were a lot of dead trees. It was green and dark, very dark.
Dark. Was there any sunlight whatsoever? Did you see anything? Was there any type of moss on the trees?
There
What
was
direction?
dark green moss on the trees.
Okay. Everybody give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
9.
5.
26.
15.
17.
All right. Both Baron and Grits, you as he kind of closes his eyes and he's like, you can tell he's trying to work something out in his head. He said, as he was describing the moss, you hear him say, "Darkwood moss," just to himself. He just whispers it under his breath.
Do I recognize that as a person of nature?
Give me a nature check.
Got it. Natural 1. Tell me more.
You don't recognize it.
As someone who was once enslaved in a bog, like, can I? Like, I was enslaved.
Sure,
around
yeah. Give me a nature
marshland.
check.
And see if it sounds like the one I was in.
Okay.
Better than his, but still not great. That is a 11.
An 11. You've heard of Darkwood moss before, and it's, as far as you know, it's really rare. It's like it's a rare type of moss, but you've never seen it before.
Cool.
And so he's just like, "Is there anything else you can tell me?"
Well, when we were dealing with the threat last night, me and Shrimp came across looked like somebody was spying on us, keeping an eye out. We chased them across the rooftops, and at the top of the roof, she said, "All is as it's meant to be. Trust ourselves. Trust in the void." And something about he will return soon. And then she just ghosted.
He who?
I don't know.
Okay. And he's like, "Did you get all that?" He's like, "Yeah." The guy's scribbling away.
Also, we found this at the last resort, and I believe there were some patrons that you and I motion at Grits were familiar with that knew of this.
The thieves can't. I basically tell them like the thieves' language on the place said it was safe, so I tried to get us to save for him to talk because we just got thrown into this situation, and we were trapped there, and they're trying to poison us. But it's also where we found the dagger and everything like that. So you may find some clues at the last resort.
We've known some of the smugglers and fences and that kind of folk to use
Rubbish and the like.
Yes, exactly. To use buildings like that in the city. Didn't know the last resort was one of them. We'll definitely check that out. We'll also check some of the networks around here.
That is also where we found the dagger and note. Just so it might be a place to get to quickly. It was a half-orc. Kind of described to him the two people who I interacted with.
Yeah.
As the bartender and the prostitute that trapped us.
Okay.
Dibs on that for a band name.
What is it? Which one?
The bartender and the prostitute. That's at least an album name.
Yeah. So he's like, "Yes, of course." And they take all the notes. He's like, "Well, you'll definitely have our hands full. I didn't think anything like this could happen in my lifetime, but unfortunately, as much as I would like to have extra manpower on this investigation, it's something we'll have to take care of. And I'll have to leave to the city guards. The soul guard can't afford to take any action with this right now. And duty calls you lot elsewhere."
I just like nudge Shrimp in the sides. Like, don't laugh at that.
Are you mad at me? He said duty.
He's staring at both of you as you're having this side conversation.
Sorry.
Apologies.
It says, "Well, there's a mining city of Harmstead, northeast of here in
Doesn't sound safe.
the Gale Forest." Harmstead, I've heard it's a nice place. It's a wonderful forest.
Should have named it better.
He says, "We're getting several reports of miners. as in those who mine.
Baron strikes
This is
again.
mighty strange.
That have gone missing for days. All search of them have been met with failure and has only contributed to the growing list of missing persons in the area. There are also reports of random killings, not necessarily of people, but of animals apparently being slaughtered in the forest. I don't know if those are even related, but I just know that it's from the same area. I can't speak to the legitimacy of it, but if people are in danger in the area and the danger is escalating, then not only does the kingdom need to respond, but as the Dawnguard Knights, you must respond. The king has chosen you, and the people of Sidlia know you, but the rest of the kingdom does not. From here on out, you are representatives of the kingdom, so everything you do and who you interact with is a reflection of that. Do you understand?
Yes.
Of course.
How will they know us as Dawnguard?
I believe the king has given you his special seal.
Is that what that was?
That is correct.
But is there like, something physical that we could show people, like a badge or a stamp?
Can I get a sheriff's badge, please?
He says, I mean, the seal is known throughout the land. Everyone recognizes it.
I'm just saying, but like,
I just looked down on my
no
chest.
way, there's no way to show
see
it.
anything.
Will they just know, or
So do we see anything different about each other? Is there any obvious symbol that the seal has done to us?
You don't at first glance you don't notice anything, but as like you motion, you start rubbing your head and you
What about
look down.
second glance?
On second glance, as you begin thinking about and picturing the seal in that image, you do have this golden gem that just begins to shine or show up on your forehead, and the same as you on your chest. And as you guys look around
Okay, good,
and
it's
you
still
think
there.
about your own seal, like it begins to materialize.
Oh, slick.
I'd like to do a perception check to see how hard Max Longschlong is.
His gem is almost diamond hard.
like a diamond in an ice storm, baby.
And he says, yeah, so Norik's like, yes, that should suffice.
Is there any pension plan?
What do I sign up for insurance?
I just nod my head.
He says, for those of you that survive your tenure, you will be rewarded greatly. And then you
That's like
remember...
at the end of everything, right?
Yeah, you remember yesterday during the ceremony, the other two that had retired, they were the two that were left from the rest of the crew. And as far as, finishing, they seemed pretty pleased with their reward.
Was one of them Dragonborn?
No.
Okay.
It was like two humans or something.
I think one was a Goliath and the other one was human.
Yeah.
I just remember this guy named Steve, and I was just wondering if that was him.
So, okay, Harmstead. Has Baron, who's, well traveled, has he heard of Harmstead?
Roll a d20.
Okay. 19.
You have. It's actually a pretty small village or mining town located in the Gale Forest, which is directly in between Gardoon and Sedlio.
Okay. In the what forest?
Gale, Gael. And as he's talking about this, he tells you that, it's about a 3 days ride. I've heard that it can be done in one if you push your mounts or if you push your marching speed. But that would also leave you arriving around nighttime. And we know how dangerous it is to travel at night. If you must take a reprieve, there's an outpost, the Blood Blossom Watch, in between here and there. You should be able to restock or rest if you need to.
All right.
Guess we have our first
Sounds
assignment.
Good. So just to be clear, we don't get any kind of any compensation until everything's all over.
I just grab Grits by the arm. I'm like, all right, just calm down.
I'm just saying there were a bunch of you know what, you're fine.
It's an honor to just serve the king. Hi.
It is an honor to be chosen as Dawnguard, but I wasn't Dawnguard until just now. And last night I helped kill a giant gorilla and some jackals. I'm just saying.
Grits,
Okay,
grits.
you're right. You're right. I'm done. I'm out.
Remember why we're here.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Sorry. Sorry.
He's Norik is like, no, I'm sorry if this inconveniences you.
Now I just feel bad. I'm sorry.
Good.
I just kind of chuckle.
And he continues on. He keeps pressing. He's like, and I understand that you did help last night, kill those monsters. I'm sure the people, the family who lost their family members, surely appreciate what you did.
They ought to, because there have been a lot more.
I turn my iBud to Baron and just give a knowing look, and then just like kind of do this, like, I don't know about this guy. How he's trying to squeeze the king from money.
As you do that, you actually hear in your head, you hear Kibe say, I don't know about this guy. But he doesn't say it out loud. You just hear it in your head.
Dun, dun, dun.
I assume it's part of the hangover and that I just didn't see him speak.
Do we all? He just did that just to him.
Yep.
Out of game. Okay. That's dope as hell. I'm just like, I'm
built-in
salty.
sending stones.
I'm sorry. I'm salty. It was a long night. I apologize. You're right. It is an honor. We did save a lot of people. We did some good. It was a good thing.
Oh, man.
Let's go help some other people. Some miners.
Find some miners. Not your kind of miners.
What time of day is it?
It's morning time.
When I did that, did I notice anything, or it just felt like I was talking to him?
It just felt like you were thinking that in your head. He kind of looked up for a second, but shook it off. You can tell he's still groggy. It's not his normal self.
I gotcha.
So he says, okay, so report back here when you're done. I will be your liaison with the king from here on out until further notified.
Sounds good,
Wink.
Nork.
Wink and a head out.
All right. Kind of, not sure how he reacts to that. But
Can I do a charisma check to see if he reacts better?
sure.
17.
Still not sure how he reacts to that. He kind of just kind of turns away. Doesn't really give you a clean reaction.
All right.
All right. So you guys head out.
Yep.
You go
What time
out
of
to
day
the
is it now?
city. It is as you exit the war hall and enter the city. It is about 10 o'clock in the morning. Sun's pretty high. The city at this point is starting to hit its peak as far as like people out and about and doing things.
Well, guys, do you want to head straight out, or do you want to like wait and leave at dawn?
Shopping montage.
I would like to go shopping and buy a souvenir gift for my son
Okay.
and mail it to him with a letter explaining everything, and that I'll be home when all this
Christmas.
is over.
Okay. Is anyone else going to do anything?
I would also like to mail something.
Okay.
I would like to mail 25 gold to my parents.
Okay.
I would like to find. I would like to
That letter.
I'd like to steal that letter from his parents.
I get with Shrimp after this, after he sends his letter, and see if we can find a member of the right hand to do some discussion.
Okay.
Well, I mean, for mailing letters to home, I'll send one out as well.
All right. You guys all take a trip to the post office. And that's where we're going to end this episode.
Exciting.
I assume it takes an hour at least. Waiting in line montage.
What stamp do you want?
And it's after a holiday. It's so busy.
All right. So do we have any announcements?
We're on Podbean now. We're still going to put the latest episode on SoundCloud. But if you want to listen to any old episodes, you'll have to find us on Podbean or iTunes or any other pod-catching app.
Or our website.
Or our website.
Yeah, that's
Go
going to
our
be the
website.
best way
Actually,
to
I
get
like
to us.
I like
think.
Podbean better than SoundCloud already.
Yeah, no, it's
The embedded
definitely
player is nicer.
it's definitely a good move for us and a good move for our listeners. So.
Yeah. Another thing, I've been putting our episodes up on YouTube. If you want to go check them out, Bards and Noble on YouTube.com. They're not all up there, doing them gradually, but almost caught up. So
Also, if you'd like to see any of our character sheets, those will be up on our website. You can check those out. You can play as any one of your favorite characters.
Your favorite crab man.
You can also reach out and ask us any questions about our characters, backstories, anything you want to hear. You can meet us on all of our social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that.
You already know my backstory.
No Flint McShrimpton plug.
Oh yeah, if you would like to follow
Why'd
me
you
on
remind
Twitter, you can follow Flint McShrimpton at Flint McShrimp.
We
Almost.
a bunch of us also have personal social media you can hit us up on if you want.
Oh man.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you guys for
Bye, guys.
listening.
Bye, everybody.
Well, we stand here in a row, looking like a bunch of heroes. I know that deep inside, nothing more but a bunch of zeros. Ah!